Q&A, Q&A, Q&A. Hey, what's up? I'm Liz. This is Blitz City DIY, and it's the Q&A video to celebrate 5K subs. Now we're at like 5,300 subs. There's so many of you. And also, end of the year, end of 2018, going into 2019. Good times. So let's jump right into the questions. First, big thank you to all those who submitted questions. I'm going to be answering all of them that were submitted.
What type of work do you do outside of maker projects?
So I work in the very exciting field of audio-visual technologies, specifically in education. So I'm a professional AV nerd. My job's a little weird because I do a lot of things. I also image all of the classroom computers. I do a lot of testing with different educational softwares to make sure they're all going to work together because oftentimes there's conflict. So then if there is a conflict, I have to like figure out a workaround, how to get it to work, whether it's rolling back a version on something or things like that. And then also I just do the good old-fashioned roll in a projector kind of thing as well. So that's what I do for work.
Can you please show that hamburger pic you have in the background?
So I looked back at the Q&A video to try to figure out what exactly you were asking to see. I do have a hamburger phone, but you can't see the hamburger phone in the video. So I'm not sure exactly what you were asking to see, and I'm really sorry. I should have asked for clarification, but if this was your question and you want to see the hamburger pic, let me know, and I will post it on Twitter or something so that you can see it. The other issue is right now I have all my holiday decorations up on my little shelf thing that I'm usually sitting in front of. So all the other stuff is in the box that the Christmas stuff and Hanukkah stuff lives in all year round. So it's also just not available right now, probably. So, but let me know. I feel really bad because I do have a lot of weird stuff behind me. So it could be anything. It could be anything. I love a tchotchke, you know?
How did you get interested in tech and, no offense, the nerdy, geek things that you show us on your channel?
No offense taken. It's subjectively very nerdy. How did I get into it? Oh, man. Pure curiosity. I'd say the root of all this is music. I've always been really into music and playing music, and then in high school that naturally led to me being in bands, and then when you're in a band, what do you want to do? You want to record, so you figure out how to record and do all that kind of thing, and that's kind of led me here. So it all stems from that. So I guess if we want to find the patient zero, it's music technology has led me on a lot of these things. I feel like all this kind of makery stuff, it all kind of, it's a natural progression, right? Like, because my first foray into Arduino was wanting to do a MIDI project. I didn't know about Arduino when I first started looking up, like, can you build a MIDI thing yourself? And then I like found out about Arduino and all that, and then you see all these projects that everyone's doing and all that, and then you're like, well, I maybe I could do that too and stuff. So that's, I see it as all a natural progression. And then once you get into Arduino, you start to learn about things like Raspberry Pi and single board computers, and then you learn about all these different programming languages, and then that will probably lead you into, well, Linux is cool. Should I do like, what if I did a full desktop Linux and all this stuff? So I see it as kind of a natural progression. And for me, it definitely started with being into music and kind of going a little bit deeper into the technology aspects of music with effects pedals and recording and everything like that. So that's how we got here.
What kind of projects would you like to do if you had the opportunity to do this full time?
Oh man, if I could do this full time, sky's the limit. I do a lot of bigger, long-term projects because right now I do try to get a video out every week, and that can be kind of tough. So I kind of keep it to shorter videos and shorter-term projects, things that, and also I kind of aim for things that I think people will find useful, and I'd explore other topics like a little bit more in depth. I'd also do way longer 3D prints. Right now, if I'm going to do a long print, like I'm actually running one right now that's going to be 12 hours, I have to wait for the weekend or when I have a day off from work because I don't run my printer when I'm not home, and I don't really feel comfortable running it overnight either. I mean, part of that is me being ultra safe. So yeah, if I went full time, I mean, there's so many things that I want to do, and it would just be great to just have the time to do it because I feel like I could do a lot. I think right now working and doing this on the side, I accomplish a fair amount. So I sometimes do fantasize like, man, imagine if I had all the time. So in general, just bigger projects, longer term projects, and I would also just make more videos in general because I would have more time to edit as well. So I would probably do a lot more kind of multi-part videos or just kind of fun, like behind the scene videos and things like that. Because right now there are videos that like I'd think like, oh, that'd be really cool to do, but I kind of have to prioritize the content I'm making and the videos I'm working on just because of the time constraints of not doing this full time. And the printer would just be going constantly.
Earth is exploding. You need to leave in a spaceship soon and can take 3 sci-fi movies with you. Which ones would you take?
This might surprise some of you. I'm not that into sci-fi movies. I know. I'm pretty generic with my sci-fi movie tastes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint. But I do have 3 movies that I would take. And that would, first one, it has to be 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite books of all time, too. And then next up, Super 8. It's really good. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it, and I don't know why, because it was a Spielberg movie, but I just find, in my circles at least, people really haven't heard of it or seen it. It came out probably 5-7 years ago, around there. Aliens are involved. Also, a group of kids that are trying to make like a little movie with a Super 8 camera. It takes place in the 80s. It's got that Stranger Things vibe where it's like the group of outcasts and like a weird thing happens. So yeah, that's a good one. I think my third one would be Moon. It's about this dude who's in the space program and he gets sent up on the moon and to live by himself, and then things happen. It's hard to talk about that one without spoiling anything, so I'll leave you to find that on your own. But I find for me, movies, including sci-fi in general, it has to be character driven. So because of that, I actually don't like a lot of sci-fi movies because it'll be a little bit too much like, here's our sci-fi story driven, and like there are just these people running around doing their thing. Those are 3 sci-fi movies I would take if Earth were exploding, which probably isn't that far off.
Any advice for those who are struggling to talk in front of the camera?
Yes, because I struggled to talk in front of the camera for so long. If you watch my early videos, which please don't, it's rough. It was really hard for me to make videos, and that was also kind of a reason why I started making videos. I wanted to get better at speaking, especially about technology, because I kind of talked a bit about what I do in my day job, and that also includes talking about technology with people and trying to explain it. And I was really bad at that. And I would get tongue-tied and I'd start mumbling and stuff. So in general, I just wanted to get kind of better at speaking. So I think my advice, if you're struggling with that, is to just keep practicing. Don't panic if it's taking you like 20 takes or just forever in general to get out what you need to say. It's okay, because it's a skill. Like, it's not something that you just naturally do. And I think that when you watch videos of people who make videos all the time, I'm not including myself in this, that just seems so natural and so easy and yada, yada, yada. And it's not. It's very jarring. It's not a natural experience to sit in front of a camera and speak. Especially, even though someone will go like, oh, well, you're alone, you're with the camera, like you're just talking to yourself, not a big deal. I think no matter what, you always have that stake attached to it that you are going to be posting this for other people to see. So it feels like you are talking to a lot of people, because you kind of are, even in the sense that right now I'm just at my desk with the camera in front of me. Like, there's a lot happening. So it's nerve-wracking. So just practice. One thing that I started to do, and I don't really do it too much anymore because now it's not as much of a challenge, but I would actually kind of write out everything I wanted to say in a video. But then instead of trying to read it, what I would then do is kind of do bullet points on a Post-it note and have that in front of me. So I would kind of talk about a point and make myself talk about it. And even if I got started doing garbly mouth, run-on sentences, I'd just keep going, and then just have in mind that I would have these cuts that I'd be making in the post-production process. And so I found that worked a lot to try to okay, I'm going to talk about the soldering now for the project. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the 3D printing for the project. And even if you say out loud, now I'm going to talk about the 3D printing, if it's just a prompt for yourself, you can edit that out after. It's okay. So that's kind of how I've become more comfortable with it. I still struggle with it some days, but that's what I've done to try to get better at it. All right, and those are the questions. Thank you again to everyone who submitted. If you submitted the question about wanting to see the hamburger pic, reach out to me, and I'll try to help you, because I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. But also, thank you for 5K subscribers and a great 2018. I've had a lot of fun making projects and sharing them with you. It's been really cool to interact with a lot of you. I think 2019 will bring more of the same, because time is a man-made construct and everything is just continuing on as it always has. But in all seriousness, I do have some new stuff planned, a lot of Raspberry Pi stuff. I've got some cool kits that people have been kind enough to send me, and a lot of 3D printing projects. I've actually got a really long print going right now that will be in a video very soon. So yeah, good stuff. As always, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing for more content like this. Toss me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave any questions or comments down below. And until next time, this has been Blitz City DIY. Oh, one more thing. I wrote a book. We'll talk about it, but I wrote a book.